KYTV, your first alert station. Action 2 News at 4 starts now.
Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace. Peace in your country doesn't depend anymore only on you and your people. It depends on those next to you, on those who are strong.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Jeff is on assignment. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressing Congress virtually today to plead for more supplies, more weapons, more action as his country continues to fight Russian invaders. Part of his speech invoking America's darkest hours.
Remember Pearl Harbor, terrible morning of December 7, 1941, when your sky was black from the planes attacking you. Just remember it. Remember September the 11th. Our country experiences the same every day, right now.
Zelensky is calling for a no-fly zone over Ukraine as well as more fighter jets, something Biden, Congress, and other world leaders are reluctant to grant. NATO has imposed no-fly zones in non-member countries before, but it's always a controversial move because it means getting someone involved in a conflict without fully committing ground forces. Lawmakers of both parties have said they're concerned a no-fly zone would pit the U.S. directly against Russia and lead to a global war. During his speech, Zelensky played a graphic video showing the impact the war has had on that country and its citizens. Hours later, President Biden announced the U.S. will send an additional $800 million in military assistance to Ukraine, including more anti-aircraft, anti-armor, and drones. That's on top of the billions in military and humanitarian aid the U.S. is already sending to help.
We are united in our abhorrence of Putin's depraved onslaught, and we're going to continue to have their backs as they fight for their freedom, their democracy, their very survival. And we're going to give Ukraine the arms to fight and defend themselves through all the difficult days ahead.
The president later called Putin a war criminal in response to a reporter's question. Meanwhile, Russian missiles leveled a residential neighborhood in the eastern city of Kharkiv as bombardments intensify in the capital city of Kyiv. A fourth round of peace talks between Russian and Ukrainian officials are in their third day today. That address before Congress this morning drew the entire room to its feet in a standing ovation, a rare sign of bipartisan support coming from Congress. That speech clearly impacted Wisconsin lawmakers. We reached out to all four congressional leaders representing Northeast Wisconsin today. In a written statement, Senator Tammy Baldwin told us, quote, President Zelensky's address to Congress was powerful and a reflection of the courage and strength of the Ukrainian people. I believe we need to keep standing strong with Ukraine, our European allies, and NATO by continuing to provide them the support they need to defend against Putin's war against freedom and help our allies address the tragic humanitarian crisis he's created for millions of innocent Ukrainians. Representative Mike Gallagher provided a video statement to us referencing this graphic and powerful video Zelensky showed of Ukrainians, including children, hurt or dying in the streets.
It was very powerful. He not only did that in a way that was very powerful, he called on the United States to lead, to act as a leader for peace. But of course, what we've discovered in this crisis is that in order to have peace, you must be strong.
And late this afternoon, Senator Ron Johnson's office released a statement to us saying in part, quote, we should have supplied them a lot more lethal defensive weaponry before Putin ever invaded Ukraine. The Ukrainians are showing such courage, they need support. Representative Glenn Grothman's office has not released a statement yet. The war in Ukraine has also led to a major refugee crisis, with nearly 3 million Ukrainians fleeing Ukraine since Russia invaded. As we've reported, more than 1 million of them have gone into Poland, while others have fled into other neighboring countries. There is a push by several nations to start accepting Ukrainian refugees, including here in the U.S. New at 4, Emily Matesic joins us live from Green Bay, where people are preparing for potential Ukrainian refugees. Emily.
Yeah. Sarah, from Appleton to right here in Green Bay, even up to Door County, many Wisconsinites are willing to open their homes to the people who've been displaced in Ukraine. And many of them are registering those vacancies on a newly created website. The website is called UkraineTakesShelter.com. It was started by 2 Harvard University students, and it's picking up traction across the country and here in Wisconsin. People who are willing to welcome refugees into their homes or other properties they own, like cottages or apartments, are able to list the accommodations available online for the refugees to search. Today, I spoke with 2 people who have listed properties on the website. One is a doctor who lives in Appleton now. He was born in Ukraine, raised there, and educated too. He just wants to help the people of his home country and has an entire house listed. The other is a single mom in Green Bay. She was looking for a way to help outside of material and monetary donations. This opportunity spoke to her.
I feel like I really just need to help. I don't know how else to put it. It's like that calling. The mom in me sees these pictures of women in the process of giving birth and getting bombed. I can't even imagine. It's gut-wrenching.
And I spoke with those 2 Harvard University students who created this website only about 2 weeks ago. And they said in that time, they've had more than 20,000 people around the world register residences, homes, apartments, cottages to help the people of Ukraine. We have a link to that website on our website at WBAY.com. Reporting live in Green Bay, Emily Matesic, Action 2 News.
Emily, thanks. Supporters of Ukraine are flocking to an Ashwaubenon flag shop to fly the country's blue and yellow flag amid Russia's ongoing invasion of the country. New at 4, Megan Kernan learned just how many flags have been flying out the door.
It's neat to see the colors of Ukraine being flown here in Wisconsin in our communities.
Many across the country and right here in Northeast Wisconsin are finding ways to stand with the people of Ukraine. One way has been by flying the country's blue and yellow flag.
It started about 3 weeks ago. We just got that first phone call and somebody walked in, and then since then the demand has continued to grow.
Before Russia invaded Ukraine, the Ukrainian flag was not one that had been stocked in store in large quantities here at Fly Me Flag in Ashwaubenon. Now they have had dozens of shipments come in, with dozens more soon to follow.
The blue represents calm and the gold or the yellow joy. And what a beautiful way to show those colors in the hopes that calm and joy will one day be returned to the people of Ukraine.
There's now a wait list for the flags, and the companies had difficulties getting them in and keeping them in stock. I'm told about 50 more flags are expected to arrive on Thursday, and Fly Me Flag is also planning to make additional orders next week. Reporting in Ashwaubenon, Megan Kernan, Action 2 News.
Turning to weather now.